Hi everyone, for those of you who don't know me, I am C.Berning. Today we are meeting for the sole purpose of Jordan Moore's annual IEP meeting and to discuss his present levels of performance and his minutes of support. We will also be discussing the assessments that he completed with me and the results of those assessments that have led us to some of the decisions we will possibly be making about his current IEP. Glenn and Tammy, do you have a copy of your parental rights? Okay, well, here's your copy. I have to offer them up to you parents every IEP. Nothing's changed. We just have to offer them up. So there's your copy to take home. Yes, you can keep them and take it home. The next form I will discuss with you is a notice of meeting form, and I did receive that back. Jordan brought it to me. It was signed and dated, and that was just saying that I notified you of the meeting and the time and date before 10 days prior of the meeting date. And so I appreciate that, getting it back quickly to me. The next form I have for you is a prior written notice for consent of change of services and or placement. This form is a consent of change of placement with minutes and of services if there are any. So we can sign that now. And there's your copy. So if you'll sign at the very bottom there. Thank you. All right, back in February, I ran an informal assessment on Jordan that consisted of putting multiple worksheets together in a portfolio of Jordan on his math skills and seeing how he was coming along on addition. His portfolio showed that he understands the basic concepts of 1 plus 1 addition and has an 88% accuracy when provided the 24/5 problems. His consistency level was at 48%, which is well below his goal of 80% for 2-digit plus 2-digit addition. Multiple worksheets in that portfolio show that he struggles with 2-digit plus 2-digit addition by carrying the 1 or whatever digit that is to the next column of numbers. He needs more repetition to enhance his learning skills with the 2-digit and 2-digit addition. The Wyatt 3 norm reference assessment that I also completed with him also showed and correlates with his materials in his portfolio and shows that his scores are down in the first grade level with addition. He solved written addition problems within a 60-second time limit, and he's in a percentile rank of 0.4 and grade equivalency of, like I said, below first grade. So here is one of the portfolio assessments that I put in there. So if you look at this, you can see, and this is a 6 if you look at it. But if you see 6 plus 4, we know that is 10. And when we're adding, we always bring the 1 up here to the second column like I was trying to say before. But when Jordan did it, he put both the 1 and the 0 down there instead of carrying it to the top. So then in return, when he added the second column of numbers, it was 4 plus 2 still. And he did get that number right. But instead of just 60 or 70 for the answer, he got 610, which is still not correct. And in the rest of the problems that you see marked with a purple check mark, you will also see that the same concept of what he's doing is going on throughout the rest of the document. And the rest of his materials that are in his portfolio show the same thing as well. And again, the Wyatt assessment that we ran also shows those same things score-wise. So that just re-enhanced my thinking as far as what skills he is struggling with math. His math fluency for addition scored below the first grade level. His multiplication as well was below first grade level. So those are just some things I've seen with the Wyatt 3, even though I wasn't using that for his norm referenced assessment. But anyways, so that just reassured me that yes, that is one concept that we will be really looking into for Jordan for as far as math concepts go. Do you have any questions about the math and the norm reference portfolio that I put together for him? Okay, well, we'll move on. And like I said, I did run after the portfolio, the Wyatt 3 assessment, the norm referenced. And this was just more or less for me to see with reading, but like I said, it had math on there, so I kind of used it to correlate with the portfolio to see if what I was seeing was correct, and they did tie together very well. With the Wyatt 3 assessment on his reading scores, he scored for word reading below a first grade level. To complete this part of the assessment, he read aloud a list of increasingly difficult words. His percentile rank was at 2%, and below average range, and a grade equivalency of below first grade. And remember, he is sixth grade, so you can only imagine what sixth grade level stuff he is being thrown at him and how hard that is to understand if he is only functioning at a first grade level with reading. With the difficulty of not being able to make out certain words, the decoding was also low. So again, we really need to focus on his level of being comfortable and being successful, and then trying to move him up slowly and at his pace to where he again is successful. When reading the nonsense words at an increasingly difficult level, he scored at a 0.4%, and again below a first grade level. So that also showed on this Wyatt 3 assessment as far as scores go. Do you have any questions as far as the Wyatt 3 assessment goes, or even back to the portfolio? If not, we'll move on, but if we can discuss questions as well. Okay. All right. Well, we'll go to the last assessment, which we will talk about the CBM I ran on him as well. And that was over reading fluency. So the reading fluency CBM I ran on him looks similar to this. And I ran it in the second grade level. In the second grade level, it increasingly gets harder. It's still in that level, but the wording gets harder, the length of the passage gets longer, that kind of thing. So his lowest performance level for accuracy was at 44%, which is well below his goal of 80%. Over 6 weeks, the reading shows that he struggles with phoneme segmenting, letter sounds, and beginning and ending blends. The reading CBMs also related very closely to the scores that he scored on the Wyatt 3 assessment from before, which I had already discussed. The Wyatt 3 assessment also found that he struggled with word identification, which led to problems with reading fluency. In return, he struggled with comprehension. So if Jordan doesn't have all the word decoding that he can get to make out these words and be able to read fluently, when I go to ask him questions about the passage that he reads in the end, if I would do so, he's not going to have no idea what he read because of him being able to struggle with how to put words together. So that is one thing we'll be working on with reading as well, is decoding, segmenting, ending and beginning blends, words being put together, compound words, more or less, and being able to break those down and know what one word is and then being able to put the other one together. Knowing his letter sounds and his letter formations. For instance, B and D are hard for him. So when you want him to say dog, he's saying bog because he's seeing them switched around. So that was another thing with the CBMs that I've noticed as well. When the CBM was ran, you can see that he started out here at a really high level of 7 on the easy CBM form. And then as he got into the third and fourth one, he started dropping down. You can see that, again, those passages were getting harder and more words were getting difficult for him to break down with the endings and beginning sounds, prefixes, suffixes, blendings, decoding more or less, and knowing his letter sounds to be able to do that. So they started going down, and then as repetition started happening with me when we were in the room focusing on this, he's gradually starting to get up there. So he ended in the 6 weeks at an 8, and we're focusing on getting up there at a 25 word per minute goal. So that's just something that Jordan and I had kind of set as a goal with that when we were working on that within those 6 weeks. So with that, he is very motivated. He wants to work. He tries his hardest. Anything he sets his mind to, he wants to do. He just needs those simple words of encouragement. These particular assessments were used to specify in depth that Jordan's lack of reading skills and math skills makes it difficult for him to perform the requirements in the 6th grade classroom level. Jordan spends most of his reading time trying to decode words and is unable to comprehend what he has read, which is kind of what I have said before. With the struggle of subtracting and adding 3-digit numbers or bigger, and not being able to multiply or divide 1-digit and 1-digit numbers, Jordan is performing well at a 1st grade level. With all this being said, I feel that he is feel more repetition and consistency in reading and math with him, he could come a long, long ways. He's very motivated, like I said before, and he wants to learn. He wants to get better. And he'll do any task you throw at him. So there's no problem in behavior as far as being able to get him on task to do what you want him to do. He likes goals. He likes to be able to do what you're asking him. And when he makes a mistake, he knows it's a mistake, but he doesn't dwell on it. He likes to try harder. So some simple goals that him and I have come up with, and I've explained these with Jordan as well, is that in one IEP year for a long-term goal is given 25 2-digit plus 2-digit addition problems, Jordan will be able to correctly answer 20 of 25 of those with an 80% accuracy. Now remember, these are long-term goals, so this is like one whole IEP year. Another one for reading for a whole IEP year would be when shown 10 words that contain a consonant, vowel, consonant form pattern, Jordan will be able to independently decode them with 80% accuracy. Again, if he does not have decoding, segmenting, ending, beginning, bounds, prefixes and suffixes, letter recognition, if he doesn't have any of that, there's no reading fluency. And with no reading fluency, there's no reading comprehension. So we've got to start back at the beginning and build him up. So as determined as he is, I think this will not be an easy process, but I think this will be a process that he really tries hard at. Short-term goals that we have talked about within 2 IEP quarters, so think of it as half of a school year. When given 25 2-digit plus 2-digit addition problems, Jordan will be able to correctly answer 10 of 25 questions correctly with 40% accuracy. And then with reading, again, with 2 IEP quarters, when shown 10 words that contain a consonant, vowel, consonant pattern, Jordan will be able to independently decode them with 40% accuracy. Again, you can think of these goals as like half of a school year. It's kind of to keep things broken down at minimal. That way it's not a whole huge picture and very overwhelming for anyone involved. For me, I would like to see the parents very involved in Jordan's process in this. That way it shows that he's wanting to be there. He's doing the extra work at home to be involved in this process. The parents also, you included, need to show that you want him to succeed in these goals as well. You want him to be able to move forward with his classmates as well and be successful. Just reading 20 minutes at the end of the day right before bed with each other and helping him decode those words is something that you guys can work together. Math skills, I can send stuff home with him to help you guys and, I'll let you know that it's coming home with him. Anything practice-wise at home, like flashcards, the 2-digit plus the 2-digit and that kind of thing will help. You will see some similar worksheets coming home with him eventually that we will be working on in class, and you guys can work on those at home. So it's just having to simply set up on different piece of paper similar problems and helping him break those down and get those simplified out and be able to do that simple task. So just being able to help him with those simple skills shows Jordan that you're involved, that you want him to succeed, and that we want you to be involved in these IEP goals as well as a team. The first lesson I had put forward for Jordan with math for the 2-digit and 2-digit addition was something that looks similar to this. So on here, he will figure out 27 plus 15. So instead of stacking it like we normally would do, what is 20 plus 10? So 27, you would break it down, and that would be your 20. So 20 comes out of 7, and 10 comes out of 15, because we're thinking of sets of 10. And then what is 7 plus 5? Because then at the end, 7 and 5 are the only thing that's left. So that would be your 12. And then what is the total? So this is another concept way of how to get Jordan to figure out how to do addition. It's longer way, but if he can figure it out this way to do the 2-digit and 2-digit addition, then that is awesome. That's just a different way. And there's also multiple steps. We have to keep that in mind. There's multiple ways for kids to figure out how to do a problem nowadays. It's not just one way set in stone anymore. So when we keep that in mind, this will better benefit Jordan. So you'll see similar worksheets coming home that he is working on in math. And Tang Math is really good also. They break things down differently, give us a better view, a bigger picture of what math concepts are doing now, as far as there being more options to figure one out. So that is one lesson that I had put forward together with Jordan. He'll be able to use tens, blocks, hundreds, tens, that kind of thing. Number line, he'll be able to use that when available, that kind of thing, and at his request. If he doesn't choose to use them, that's his choice. I encourage it just for the fact that it helps with the concrete visualization to help him, and it will be there right in front of him. So again, I will start out with a direct teaching lesson with this, breaking it down, showing me how to figure it out. Then there will be a guided lesson with it, with me partially in the picture, but not so much direct like before. And then there will be an individual where he will try and figure out so many problems on his own. And then again, I can still step in if there is a process he is not doing correctly, because we don't want him to go off the beaten path and not do it correctly, because it doesn't benefit anybody. So that is just the first lesson that I had put together for Jordan. The second lesson for decoding will go over prefixes and suffixes of different words. Jordan will be taught the meaning of different prefixes and suffixes, and learn how it can change the meaning and sounding of a word. So like do and ing together says doing. So he's going to be able to know simple prefixes, suffixes like that, beginning and ending blends like ly, that kind of thing, decoding. If he does not have any of that, he can't read fluently. Segmenting, being able to segment parts of a word out, like jack, rab, it. So he's going to be able to sound those three segments out in a word and be able to put that together, and be able to hopefully fluently read through those together more fluently and get through them. He'll be reading short passages. I'm going to pick those out as well. That'll go along with his other lesson that I have for reading fluency. So with the decoding, we'll tie into the reading fluency of the next lesson that I have as well. But again, with that, having that and being able to be successful, that will help with the reading fluency, which will then in return help with his reading comprehension, which is low as well. So that is the second lesson I have for decoding. It'll just be simple words and breaking those terms down, and that kind of thing. And then I will be observing him on him being able to break those down. He'll be matching vocabulary to different sentences. So once he figures out what each word is, he'll be able to match what the sentence is that needs that word in that blank. And he'll be able to have future word recognition and be able to decode with that lesson. So that should be a good lesson for him. My lesson for reading fluency ties into decoding. So as I said before, I'll have 6 reading passages that he will have. They'll gradually get harder. And week by week, I will change them out. It'll be in the same level, but the consistency of them gets harder. So I will model out how these passages are to be read, and then he will read out those passages, how they should be read, and then we will go over what needs to be corrected or certain words he's missing, and then also reiterate on the decoding, the segmenting, the blends, and the suffixes, prefixes, all that good stuff. So again, these 2 lessons very much so correlate with each other or tie together, so that would be my lesson for reading fluency. So he'll be able to pick out those passages as well. I didn't say that before, but he'll be able to pick those out. I will have them set out, and again, I will order them to where they'll gradually get harder, but he will be able to pick out which one in this level he wants to read, which one in this level he wants to read, something of maybe his interest that he likes. And once he has more repetition in decoding words and more practice with reading fluency with repeated readings, his words per minute and the data will start to rise, which will show us more success. Do you have any other questions as far as this goes, or anything I can answer? Okay. Well, now that we have gone over everything for Jordan's academics, we need to discuss possible inclusion minutes and for support in the classroom, and pull-out minutes, which will be serviced in the resource room for Jordan to be successful in the reading and the math. I am suggesting 25 minutes of pull-out for math and reading each, 5 days a week, and I'm also suggesting that the full 40-minute of math and reading of each of those classes be supported with full SPED staff, whether that be myself or a para within the classroom at that whole time, just to give him that support, and that would last for 5 days a week through the whole IEP year up until his next one. I think that would give Jordan the ability to be comfortable within his own group of level as far as sixth grade goes, but also the fact that the teachers would be aware, and the paras also would be aware, that it needs to be modified down. They need to be broken down as far as assignments, assessments, anything like that, tests. They all need to be modified down. With that, he will have the opportunity to come to my room in the resource room and complete his assessments with any of the accommodations, modifications he is accessible to on the IEP, that kind of thing. Within my room, for the pull-out minutes for 25 minutes of math and 25 minutes of reading, we would go over those lessons that I had previously talked about, and also build in, some fun games with it, learning games, keep him interested, keep him motivated, that kind of thing. Maybe possibly teach someone how to do a math problem, another para, or another student that may be in the room, some way to keep him activated and encouraged with this learning process. So those are my proposals for the minutes, if you guys are in agreement with that. Perfect. So on that placement form, I will have you sign that as well here at the end. And that just says that you agree to those minutes, and we'll move forward with those for this IEP year with that as well. ESY is also another discussion we need to talk about too. Are you guys in an agreement to have ESY for him during the summer? It's similar to summer school, but in a different format. And it would be taught by a SPED teacher. Are you guys interested in that? And I can show that he would qualify, that kind of thing. Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead and go forward with this, and I will get him set up for ESY. I will possibly be the one teaching it this summer. So I already have the relationship with him. I know where he's at level wise. So that will also be good for him as well. Just to keep building on that too. And keep him encouraged to go forward with school. So I feel like the more encouragement we give him, the better off he will be. Do you guys have any other questions or anything we didn't discuss that we may have forgot or left out? All right. Well, if you think of anything, or if you guys leave here, please let me know. You can call me, text me, call the school. I'm more than willing to do the work to get your questions answered. And if I don't have the resources within my room or within my stuff, I can definitely reach out to my supervisors and ask who or what I need to do to get this question answered. So please don't hesitate. And thank you for coming to the meeting. And I look forward to an awesome year with Jordan. I'm so excited to be with him, and thank you for everything.